It's been a while since I mentioned how I use IntelliJ to be more productive. I have been using IntelliJ for more than 10 years and I have seen the evolution of IntelliJ, and I still can't catch up with the features which IntelliJ has been releasing every year. In this video, we are going to look at the IntelliJ productivity shortcuts which I use on a daily basis. So Command E is useful when, let's say, you're switching between multiple files. For example, previously I was looking at code formatting.java. Now I want to go to the previous file which I was looking at, right? For example, from surrounds with. So this is how you can quickly navigate between two files, or the previous file and the most recent file. For example, if I do Command E, I can see the list of files which I navigated in the last few minutes. So these are the recent files which I navigated within this particular project. You can also navigate to the recent options inside IntelliJ. For example, if I want to switch to terminal, I can do that as well. This is the most used shortcut which I use on a daily basis. The next one is obviously searching for class names. For example, I want to do class name search. I do Command O in Mac, and you can do Control N in Windows. So Command O is predominantly useful for searching the class names. I want to search for the class name like code formatting. I'll just search for it and I can see that. If I want to now search non-class files, for example, I want to search text files, right? I can do that by using Command Shift and O. So Control Shift and N is for Windows, and for Mac it is Command Shift and O. So earlier we were doing Command O for class, Command Shift and O for non-classes. For example, I can search txt files, config files, JavaScript files, etc. Right? The non-Java classes. The next shortcut is how do we navigate within a particular class. For example, I want to know what is this particular method doing, right? So I can do Command B or Control B. So Command B or Control B will take me to that particular class. And if I want to go back, I can do Command Option and left arrow. This is a slightly different or a complex shortcut, but I got used to it. So the moment you do Command B, you can just come back saying that Command Alt and then left arrow. So that means you want to go back. If I want to go forward, I can do Command Alt and then right arrow. So in Windows, it is again Control Alt and right arrow. Another most used shortcut which I use is Command Shift and F. This is for searching all the files. This is another shortcut I predominantly use when I want to search something, a specific keyword or a specific method name, variable name, etc. etc. You can use Command Shift and F. If I want to replace the variable, I can do Command Shift R. The same Command Shift F changes into a replace option. So I can search for that particular variable and then replace it. So Command Shift R is for replacing in all the files. Command Shift F is for searching in all the files. Of course, Command and F is for searching in the current file, and then again Command R is for searching replacing it within that particular file. If you add a shift, it will just search across. Now that reminds me, what if I want to search everywhere, right? I can just do double shift. If I don't know any shortcut, right? Or if I don't know where things are, for example, I don't know where plugins are. So what I can do double shift, and I can just first search for plugins. I can search for a class name. I can search for anything with double shift. So double shift is like the Swiss Army knife, using which you can search anywhere within IntelliJ, right? It could be IntelliJ settings, it could be intelligence navigation, or it could be within the code as well. Another predominant feature which I use within IntelliJ is sometimes we want to create a notepad or a scratchbook, right? So IntelliJ provides a scratch file. For that, you have to use the Command Shift and N. So this creates a new scratch file. I just generally create a scratch file with plain text, right? And then I keep on typing some text. So this is when we start taking notes during a meeting, or let's say when you're taking some session, or let's say when you're watching a video, or when let's say you're in a town hall, etc. etc. If you want to take some notes, you can definitely use this feature within IntelliJ itself. You don't have to go outside IntelliJ. You can just create a scratch pad and then just save it. Also, sometimes we copy JSON file, we copy commands. All those can be saved using a scratch file, and that scratch file stays within your project unless you delete your .idea IntelliJ folder. So you can create any type of scratch file you want. You can even create Java files as well. The next shortcut is pasting contents from my clipboard. For example, let's say I copied some text here, then I had to copy some other text, but then I have to now paste something else here, right? If I do a control V, just paste append, but then I want to paste something which I copied few minutes ago, like maybe like 2-3 copies before, right? In that case, you can do Command Shift and V. Command Shift and V will show all the contents which you had copied within this context within IntelliJ. For example, let's say let's copy multiple values, right? So I'll just show you. Now if I want to paste something here, I can do Command Shift and V, and you can see that there are multiple options which we copied, right? All the options, whatever we copied within the IntelliJ's context, get stored here. So I use it like whenever I copy some passwords, API keys, or maybe some configuration files when I want to like traverse, right? I generally use Command Shift V. Another predominant option when we generally write similar kind of code is like, for example, if I want to add one more system.out.println, then I can do Command D. Command D is basically a duplicate option. You can just say Command D and then you can just duplicate the same file. So I can do Command D multiple times and then I can duplicate the files. Of course, there are a lot of other shortcuts to go up, go down and stuff like that, but those are complicated. I generally use only these easy ones. Like Command D is predominantly easy when I want to like just say I want to change only a particular text or something. Another most common shortcut which I daily use is Git shortcuts. Let's say this is the history of the file and I want to compare commits between these two, right? I can do a Command D and it shows what is the change between these two files. So if you see here, I just did a Command D and I can see the difference between these files. So this compares the latest and the previous diff. However, if let's take some within the same, for example, here to here, I can select the source and the destination commit ID and then I can do a Command D and it shows that as a diff. So for example, in this particular file, we added some methods and stuff here. So this is very useful when you are debugging stuff. And also I look at what are the commits which were done along with the same commit ID, right? What are the other files which are committed within that commit ID. So this is very useful when you are searching, debugging something, and then you want to identify who committed what and stuff like that. The final one is the distraction-free mode. I use this every now and then when let's say I don't want to get pinged. I just click on the distraction-free mode and then I just go into this particular format where I just don't see any other option, just this particular file. So if I am coding something within a single file, I just get into distraction-free mode where I can go and like into a distraction-free zone where nothing is like notified, you don't get notifications, you just concentrate on only the coding in this particular file. Of course, you can use the Command E and the other shortcuts which you have been using. If you're using a lot of shortcuts in IntelliJ, then distraction-free mode is for you because you will be able to easily navigate with your shortcuts and you don't have to go and use your mouse every single time. And finally, you may be asking what version of IntelliJ I'm using. I'm using the latest version of IntelliJ 2023.1. And this is the theme, which is the newer theme. Let me exit the distraction-free mode. This is the newer theme. I'll go to the settings and show you. If I go to preferences, there is this new UI option, which is right now in beta. If you like darker UIs and if you want a clean, neat UI, then definitely go for the new UI and then enable the new UI. It will just show your IntelliJ like this. This is pretty neat. The fonts, the color, everything just gels in within and it's very smooth. I have been using it for a while now. I think maybe like 3 to 4 months, and it's pretty useful in getting a distraction-free mode when you're coding your projects. Those are some of the shortcuts which I've been using. If you have any new shortcuts which I'm not using daily, just ping me in the comment section below. I will also start exploring and then start using. I hope you found these shortcuts productive, As always, if you like the video, go ahead and like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to it. Meet you again in the next video. Thank you very much.